Lieutenant Cole. Welcome aboard.
Oh, come on, Black Mirror, with an homage to Star Trek. The Orville's already doing that. Black Mirror is copying the Orville!
Egotastic FunTime!
Egotastic FunTime, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic FunTime.
Watch my show, damn it! Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about the season Quattro premiere of Black Mirror with an episode called USS Callister. In this season 4 opener, we're introduced to a very familiar Star Trek, the original series type scene, complete with an exploratory vessel, dedicated crew, and their fearless leader, Captain Robert Daly, all set within a perfect recreation of a 1960s space opera. Captain Daly thwarts the sinister plans of the space villain of the week, and the crew celebrates the win with 3 cheers of hip hip hooray, and Daly, of course, getting a kiss from every female member of the team, just like you do. But we soon realize that the USS Callister, its crew, and the universe it boldly goes in are just a virtual creation made by Robert Daly. In the real world, a brilliant yet constantly bullied tech genius and co-owner of a virtual gaming company. His entire crew on the ship are actually comprised of virtual copies of his co-workers that have insulted him at some point in their career. But these aren't simple look-alike avatars, you guys. Daly steals DNA samples from his victims. Yes, I said victims, and he uses it to recreate them in the digital world. When their digital selves wake up aboard the Callister, they remember everything about who they are in the real world, only to find out that now they're just a digital slave to Captain Daly and must play along, succumb to his every whim, or be horribly tortured, even though their flesh and blood cells still exist in the real world, unaware of Daly's dealings with them in his own private server. Captain Daly likes to take his real world aggressions out on his virtual crew without mercy. This dude is sick. I mean, they can't even have a wank to help pass the time, you guys. That's brutal. Sure, erasing people's faces so they don't monkey around on the job. Yeah, I get that. You got to do that sometimes. People can be, you know, unruly. But not allowing them the common decency of having a monkey to spank is uncalled for, sir. Uncalled for. This episode of Black Mirror is incredible. And luckily, you don't have to catch up with 4 seasons of the series to watch this one episode. Black Mirror episodes are completely standalone, just like the Twilight Zone used to be. Every episode is a new story with a new cast and a new thing going on in it, so you don't have to worry about other episodes because it's completely unrelated. So just watch this one episode. Go ahead, get on the Netflix, get your jammies on, you guys. Watch it now after you're done watching this video, of course, but you will not be disappointed. Now, at the top of the episode, we're introduced to the USS Callister and its crew, and I had no idea what to expect when I turned this on. I don't watch Black Mirror very often, so I was like, well, what are they going to do here? But it was set up exactly like an episode of classic Star Trek. The ship, the uniforms, the over-the-top dialogue, and the music were all true to form, and I was like, well, hell, this should be a show. I would watch this if it were a show. It was even broadcast in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, I didn't know if the entire episode was going to be like that or how they were going to make everything all of a sudden turn dark and crazy at some point because, come on, let's be honest, this is Black Mirror, or should I say Black Mirror universe. It's going to get crazy at some point. We know this. After the triumphant conclusion to their first adventure that we get to see, the crew is celebrating on the bridge and, you know, giving praise to the captain. It then cuts to Daly in the real world coming into work. He's awkward and schlubby, and he doesn't adorn the same thick, full head of hair like Captain Daly has. Then we notice that everyone we meet at his work are the same people who serve on his space fleet crew, and they're all dicks to him. And I'm like, dude, why would you want these people serving aboard your virtual ship? When I play video games, I don't recreate people from work because I want to get away from those people. We're then introduced to Nanette, played by Kristen Milioti, a new hire who seems to be the only person who respects Robert for his coding abilities, and he's instantly smitten with her. So was I, to be honest. But a virtual copy of Nanette soon finds herself aboard the Callister when Daly overhears the real-life Nanette say that she's only interested in him professionally and not romantically. Oops, you should have been more flirty with the psychopath, sorry. This is the point where we learn what dark and twisted shiz is really going on in this virtual world. The rest of the crew just hang out on the bridge all day long, fully aware of their captivity, fully aware of the passage of time, and they just wait for the captain to show up so they can play along with whatever fantasy he wants to live out that day or be tortured. They all remember who they are in real life, but they play along because they have no choice. They can't escape or fight back or die unless the captain allows them to do so. All any of them wants at this point is to die. That's not conducive to a healthy work environment, you guys. But this reminds me of two different original episodes of The Twilight Zone. An episode called It's a Good Life, where a community is taken over by a red-headed, evil little brat 3-year-old with godlike powers, and if you don't think good thoughts all the time, he knows, and he'll wish you into the cornfield or turn you into a jack-in-the-box or some horrific thing like that. In that situation, everyone was trying to do their best to stay alive. A nice twist with USS Callister is everyone is trying to do their best to die. The other Twilight Zone episode that comes to mind is one called 5 Characters in Search of an Exit, where an army major wakes up in a room with 4 strange characters. He and none of the characters know who they are or how they got there or where they're from, but they can't escape this room. We then learn at the end that they're all just discarded toys in a donation bin. Just like the Callister's crew are toys created by Daly to do with as he pleases. But besides the dark nature of this story, it was a lot of fun to watch them spoof Star Trek so well. They took a lot of care to get it right too. I mean, Jesse Plemons, aka the made-for-TV version of Matt Damon, was wonderful in this role of the captain. He obviously put in a hell of a lot of work, even to sound a little bit like a William Shatner type character from the 1960s. And I'm not talking about cheesy Shatner, you guys.
I will. William Shatner never did that.
I mean good, realistic William Tiberius Shatner. It's the first thing I noticed as soon as he spoke, and I was instantly on board with wherever this journey was going to lead me. And even though we ended up in some dark-ass places in this episode that shook me to my core, I had nightmares, you guys. I was afraid to go into work the next day. Okay, maybe not. But it does make me feel really bad for all the characters in the Sims I used to create that I would just let piss themselves to death because I thought it was funny. I'm such a dick. And the ways that Daly tortured his crew to get them to submit are scary as hell. He made a digital recreation of Walton's son using DNA he collected. Not in a perv way, you guys. Get your mind out of the gutters. But he did that, and he brought the kid, the digital copy of the kid at least, onto the bridge, onto the ship, and made Walton watch as he shoved the kid out an airlock. I mean, I'm not a big fan of kids, but damn. And I don't want to give all the little details away from this episode of Black Mirror, though I don't know why you would be watching this review of it if you haven't already watched the episode. You should watch the episode before you watch this, just heads up. But the way that the crew has to work together to escape an almost impossible situation and best Daly at his own game in the real world and the digital world, it was very satisfying to watch at the end. But it does leave open the possibility of turning this one-off episode into a full series of its own. And from what I've read, the creators are toying with the idea, the possibility of doing just that. There's no definite, information, of course. It's Hollywood. Nothing's real until you actually see it on the screen. But just so you know, a USS Callister series is something that we might see in the future. So is the idea of revisiting the story in a later season of Black Mirror. I hear they're also talking about that. And I'd be up for any type of continuation because this was amazing. I mean, after all, at the end of the episode, there were a lot of loose ends that can be further explored. Did Robert Daly actually die? Spoiler alert. We don't know if he did. And if he did die, will the real world Nanette become a suspect? What about the patch updated version of the crew of the USS Callister and their new captain Nanette? What adventures will they find themselves on now that they're connected to the rest of the Infinity server? They weren't in there but 10 seconds before running into Aaron Paul. And that's not a joke either. The guy was voiced by Aaron Paul, bitch. And most importantly, what are they gonna do now that they've gotten their junk back? And can I watch?
Hip hip hooray!
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? What did you think about Black Mirror's USS Callister episode? Do you think they should make a spin-off series, or should they leave well enough alone? You can let me know by joining the conversation below. And if you like this damn episode of my damn show, please consider helping support future episodes by making a pledge on my Patreon page. It's as simple as clicking on a link in the description of this video and giving me all your money. And I'd like to thank everyone for liking and subscribing to my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me, you guys. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye!
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your money. Give me all your money. Give me all your money. Give me